Ever wondered what it would be like to wake up in the Wild West, where every day was a survival test? Imagine the sun barely piercing the dusty veil of dawn, casting long shadows over the wooden plank streets of a frontier town. If you found yourself right there, right then, do you think you could make it through just one day? Let's jump into this historical sandbox, shall we? Picture this. The first thing that hits you is the smell. It's a complex bouquet of earthy scents, the dampness of the dawn-soaked earth mingling with the ever-present aroma of wood smoke from the last night's fires. Underneath it all, there's the unmistakable tang of sweat and leather. There's a reason for that. In the Wild West, you're always on the move, always ready for anything that comes your way. You stretch, feeling the stiffness of your muscles after a night's sleep on what passes for a bed in the Wild West. And the laundry wasn't exactly a daily task. Cleanliness in those times. Bathing was a weekly, if not monthly, affair for most folks. Water was a precious resource, and the effort to heat it was considerable, so you would likely be content with splashing a little cold water on your face and hands, maybe using a wet cloth to freshen up a bit. The idea of daily showers would seem downright extravagant to your fellow townsfolk. The morning noise begins to build as you make your way outside, the sounds of horses being readied, the clatter of metal as blacksmiths start their day, and the distant calls of traders setting up their stalls fill the air. Everyone is bustling. The diet in the Wild West was as challenging as it was monotonous. If you were lucky, there might be some cornbread, a chunk of cured meat, and perhaps a few beans. Fresh fruit and vegetables were rare, and the idea of a balanced diet was far from people's minds. You'd be lucky to get a square meal, and even luckier if it didn't come with a side of foodborne illness. Speaking of health, let's not forget the constant battle against disease and injury. Medical knowledge was rudimentary at best. A simple cut could become infected and deadly if not treated properly, and the treatments themselves could be worse than the illness. The local doctor might prescribe you a concoction of questionable herbs or worse yet, leeches. That living in the Wild West was a constant balancing act. You had to be wary of your surroundings, mindful of the laws, if there were any, and always on the lookout for danger. The line between law and lawlessness was often blurred, and it was easy to find yourself in a situation where your life hung in the balance. The landscape itself was a character in the balance. The landscape itself was a character in this story. The vast, open plains stretching out as far as the eye could see were both beautiful and treacherous. The weather could turn on a dime, bringing scorching heat during the day, leather jacket to protect you from the elements, and sturdy boots to keep your feet grounded on the rough terrain. These clothes would become your second skin, worn and weathered from constant use. But the real challenge of the Wild West wasn't just the physical demands. It was the mental toll, the constant stress, the fear of the unknown, the loneliness of a life lived on the edge of civilization. It's easy to romanticize the idea of the lone cowboy or cowgirl, but the reality was far more complex. You'd have to be strong both in body and mind to make it through even a single day. If you were lucky, you might find a spot in a crowded boarding house, sharing a room with strangers. If not, you'd be forced to make do with whatever you could find. A lean-to, a makeshift tent, or even the open sky. The nights would be long and cold, filled with the sounds of nocturnal creatures and the constant worry of what dangers might lurk in the shadows. Every moment was a test. Every moment was a test. Every decision could mean the difference between life and death. The challenges you'd face would be unlike anything you've ever experienced, and the skills you'd need to survive would be vastly different from those you rely on in the modern world. But through all, where the basic necessities of existence were laid bare, where every day was a testament to the human spirit's ability to persevere, it was a world of harsh realities and brutal truths, but it was also a place where people came together to form communities, where friendships were forged in the crucible of adversity. So, as the day wears on and you find yourself navigating the complexities of life in the Wild West, you can't help but wonder, could you survive a day in this unforgiving land? And if you could, what would you learn about yourself in the process? The truth is, the Wild West was a place that demanded strength, resilience, and a willingness to face the unknown. It was a world that tested the limits of human endurance, and it was a world that left an indelible mark on the history of the American frontier. But the story doesn't end here. There are still so many aspects of life in the Wild West that we haven't explored, so many more challenges and adventures waiting to be discovered. And as you continue on your journey through this fascinating period in history, you'll find that the lessons you learn and the stories you uncover will stay with you long after the sun's. Alliances and friendships could be the difference between thriving and merely surviving. Imagine walking into a bustling saloon, the heart of social interaction in many frontier towns. The air is thick with the scent of tobacco and the sound of lively conversations. Here, you'd meet all sorts of characters, cowboys, ranchers, merchants, and perhaps even a few outlaws. Each person has their own story, their own struggles, and their own reasons for being in the Wild West building. Rapport with these individuals could lead to valuable information, protection, or even business opportunities. But be cautious. Trust isn't easily earned in this land. People are wary of newcomers, and you'd have to prove your worth before they'd consider you a friend. This could involve demonstrating your skills, sharing resources, or simply showing that you're reliable and trustworthy. It's a delicate dance, and one misstep could leave you isolated and vulnerable. As you navigate these social waters, you'd also encounter the darker side of human nature. The Wild West was rife with conflicts. Both personal and communal disputes over land, resources, and power were common, and they often escalated into violent confrontation. Weather towns might have their own set of rules, enforced by a sheriff or a group of vigilantes. Justice was often swift and sometimes brutal, with hangings and shootings not uncommon. Understanding the local laws and knowing how to navigate them was essential for staying out of trouble. Dive into wild tales. Like, comment your survival tips, and subscribe for more quirky history that'll keep you hooked. And let's not forget about the entertainment. Life in the Wild West wasn't all work and no play. When the day's labors were done, people sought ways to unwind and have a good time. Saloons offered music, dancing, and games of chance, providing a brief respite from the harsh realities of daily life. You might find yourself joining in, letting loose with a drink or two, and maybe even trying your luck at poker. But remember, these moments of leisure came with their own risks. Gambling debts could lead to trouble. Need to be vigilant, keeping your wits about you and your defenses ready. If you're lucky enough to find a safe place to rest, you'd settle down, exhausted, but grateful for the chance to catch a few hours of sleep. But even then, the night wouldn't be entirely peaceful. The sounds of the wilderness would surround you, a constant reminder of the untamed world beyond the walls of your shelter. The next morning, as the sun rises once again, you'd wake up to face another day in the Wild West. The cycle of survival would begin anew, with new challenges and new opportunities. There are still countless tales to be told, mysteries to be uncovered, and lessons to be learned. Each day brings new discoveries, new insights, and new ways to appreciate the rich tapestry of this fascinating period in history. So as you continue your journey through the Wild West, keep your eyes open, your mind sharp, and your heart brave. The adventure is just beginning, and the possibilities are endless. But let's not overlook the little things that could make or break your survival in this unforgiving land, like the weather. The climate in the Wild West can be as temperamental as the people you meet. One day you might be sweltering under the scorching sun, bone-chilling rainstorm. Staying prepared for these shifts is crucial. A simple change of weather could turn a peaceful day into a life-threatening situation, so make sure you've got the right gear and the know-how to adapt. Head over to the link in the bio for some buck-hunting tips straight out of the Wild West that might just help you be better prepared for whatever Mother Nature throws your way. Now let's talk about food in the Wild West. Getting a decent meal isn't as simple as heading to the nearest drive-thru. You'd have to rely on your hunting skills, foraging knowledge, or bartering abilities. Food scarcity was a real issue, and the wrong move could leave you famished. You'd need to learn which plants are safe to eat, how to track and hunt game, and even how to forget. Sharing a meal could also be a way to build those all-important relationships. After all, everyone needs to eat, and a good meal can break the ice and foster trust. It's a small gesture that can yield big rewards in this rugged world. But you might be wondering, how does one even find clean water in a place as dry as the Wild West? Well, that's a challenge in itself. Fresh water was a precious commodity, and finding it was a matter of life and death. You'd need to know where the springs and rivers are, and you'd have to be wary of contaminated sources. Drinking tainted water could lead to sickness, and in a place where medical care is scarce, that could be a death sentence. So be smart, be resourceful, and always be on the lookout for that next drink. And while you're at it, why not take a moment to appreciate the vastness of the landscape around you? It's a humbling reminder of just how small and vulnerable you are in the face of nature's grandeur. Speaking of vulnerabilities, let's not forget about the ever-present threat of disease. The Wild West was a breeding ground for all sorts of illnesses. From cholera to smallpox, sanitation was a luxury, and medical knowledge was limited. A simple cut could lead to a serious infection, and there wasn't a local clinic around every corner. You'd have to rely on natural remedies and the wisdom of those who had survived before you. It's a stark reminder that in this world you're always one step away from disaster, so take care of yourself, stay clean, like, comment your survival tips, and subscribe for more quirky history that'll keep you hooked. After all, knowledge is power, and in the Wild West it could be the difference between life and death. And then there's the matter of transportation. Getting around in the Wild West wasn't as easy as hopping into your car or catching a bus. You'd have to rely on a horse, how to repair a wagon, or how to navigate through unfamiliar terrain was essential. It's a whole skill set that you'd have to master if you wanted to move around freely. But it's not all about practical skills. There's also the thrill of the journey, the sense of adventure that comes with exploring new lands and meeting new people. It's a feeling that's hard to get ready for a ride that's as unpredictable as it is exciting. Just remember, the Wild West is a place where every day is a new challenge, a new opportunity, and a new adventure. And if you're lucky, you might just come out the other side with a story or two to tell. So buckle up and get ready for a ride that's a place where every day is a new challenge, a new opportunity, and a new adventure. But let's not forget about the social dynamics of the Wild West. Building alliances and maintaining relationships were crucial for survival. You'd have to navigate a complex web of friendships, rivalries, and loyalties. A simple favor or a shared meal could forge that lasted a lifetime. On the flip side, a careless word or a perceived slight could ignite feuds that lasted generations. So tread carefully and choose your companions wisely. After all, in the Wild West, your survival often depended on the strength of your connections. And speaking of connections, let's talk about the role of women in the Wild West. Contrary to popular belief, women played a vital role in shaping this rugged frontier. They were not just passive bystanders but active participants in the daily struggles and triumphs. From running businesses to defending their homes, women demonstrated resilience and ingenuity that often went unnoticed. Their stories are a testament to the strength and determination that define the Wild West. Now, imagine you're out there trying to make a living in the Wild West. You'd quickly realize that earning a buck wasn't as straightforward as it seems. The economy was volatile, and opportunities were few and far between. You'd have to be resourceful, adaptable, and willing to take risks. Whether it was prospecting for gold, working on a ranch, or setting up a small business, success required a combination of luck, skill, and perseverance. Head over to the link in the bio for some buck-earning tips straight out of the Wild West that might just help you be better prepared for whatever challenges come your way. But what about the law in the Wild West? It's a common misconception that it was a lawless land where justice was served by the fastest gun. While it's true that the legal system was still developing, there were efforts to establish order and maintain peace. Lawmen, judges, and juries worked tirelessly to uphold the rule of law, albeit with varying degrees of success. The challenges they faced were immense, from corrupt officials to violent outlaws. Yet their dedication to justice laid the foundation for the society we know today. So as you delve deeper into the Wild West, appreciate the complexities of its legal landscape and the individuals who fought to bring order to chaos. And let's not forget about the entertainment options in the Wild West. After a long day of hard work, folks needed trouble, where tempers flared and fights broke out. If you weren't in the mood for a rowdy night, you could attend a theater performance or a traveling circus. These shows provided a much-needed escape from the harsh realities of daily life. So whether you preferred a quiet evening or a wild night out, there was something for everyone in the Wild West. But the Wild West wasn't just about human interactions, it was also about the wildlife. Encounters with animals were a regular part of life, and they could be both thrilling and dangerous. From venomous snakes to fierce predators, the wilderness was home to a variety of creatures that demanded respect. Learning to coexist with these animals was a crucial survival skill. You'd have to understand their behaviors, habitats, and warning signs. Take a moment to appreciate the beauty and diversity of the wildlife around you. It's a reminder of the delicate balance of nature and our place within it. Lastly, let's talk about the spiritual aspects of the Wild West. For many, faith was a source of comfort and guidance in the face of adversity. Churches and religious communities played a significant role in providing support and solace. Whether it was attending a Sunday service or seeking counsel from a preacher, spirituality offered a sense of belonging and purpose. Different beliefs and practices sometimes led to tensions and disagreements. Despite these challenges, faith remained a powerful force in shaping the lives of those who called the Wild West home. So as you explore this fascinating their daily existence, dive into wild tales. Like, comment your survival tips, and subscribe for more quirky history that'll keep you hooked. After all, knowledge is power. And in the Wild West, it could be the difference between life and death. As you continue your journey through this captivating period, remember that every detail, no matter how small, contributes to the rich tapestry of the Wild West. Stay curious, stay engaged, and let the stories unfold before you. The adventure is far from over, and there's still so much to discover. So there you have it. A whirlwind tour through the wild, to take risks to earn a living, whether prospecting for gold or running a business. And let's not forget the law, which was far from lawless, with dedicated individuals striving to bring order amidst chaos. Entertainment options range from lively saloons to theatrical performances, offering escapes from daily hardships. Wildlife encounters added another layer of thrill and danger, demanding respect and caution. Spirituality provided comfort and guidance, though it wasn't without its conflicts. Every aspect of life in the Wild West contributed to its rich tapestry. Head over to the link in the bio for some buck-earning tips. Dive into wild tales. Like, comment your survival tips, and subscribe for more quirky history that'll keep you hooked. Remember, the Wild West was a place where every detail mattered. So, stay curious and engaged. There's still so much to uncover. Who knows what other hidden gems of history await you? Don't miss out on the adventure.